While there are a lot of superhero properties out there between the comics, video games, TV shows, and movies, not all are created the same. Many are about noble heroes seeking justice. Others are about anti-heroes trying to do what they feel is needed at any cost. And then there's The Boys, a comic turned epic TV series that showcases superheroes as villains, more or less. The show flips the script, amps up the violence, profanity, and other content to deliver a series like nothing else out there. And now, we're eager for our third helping of the show. So allow us to show you everything we know so far about The Boys Season 3. Number 10. Release date revealed. Season 3 has been known about for a while, and the team has been talking about certain details about the plot, characters, and more for some time. But the real question that fans want to know is when it'll air on Amazon Prime. For a while, it was very unclear about when we'd find out about it. After all, Season 2 ended in 2020, and that's when the pandemic was hitting everything in Hollywood, and forcing productions to be delayed or even scrapped in part. And while they were posting stuff about The Boys, we couldn't know until they admitted it when the season was coming. However, now we do know that it'll arrive, in part at least, on June 3rd. A teaser was shown with a press conference showcasing Homelander and Starlight, and at the end of it was the June 3rd date. So that does mean we're still a bit away from the show's premiere. But that at least lets us start a countdown and focus on what we know needs to be shown in Season 3 in part or in whole. Such as Number 9. Congresswoman Victoria Newman. One of the biggest additions to The Boys in Season 2 was that of Claudia Domit's Congresswoman Victoria Newman. She was a strong advocate for superhero regulation because of the damage, especially the collateral damage that they did to the world, even going up against Homelander and Stormfront at points, and heading an investigation into their antics. But at the end of Season 2, we found out the hard way that she is in fact a supervillain, one that has been behind the rash of exploding heads that have been happening all season. The question, though, is why? The head exploding happened every time someone was going to reveal something about Vought, which was the source of the superhero serum. So, is she the secret mole, if you will, that is supposed to be protecting the company from too much scrutiny? Or is she a third party that just wants Vought alive for her own nefarious reasons? She's been confirmed to be a series regular in the next season. And another thing we must recall is that she just got a new worker that could absolutely change everything. Number 8. Huey. One of the things that made The Boys so special, in terms of the TV adaptation, is that you couldn't help but feel for Huey. He was someone who was as regular could be. And then, through no fault of his own, he's thrown into this madness with the Seven, Vought, and more. He wanted to get justice for his fallen girlfriend. Then, he wanted to expose Vought to the world and save Starlight in the process. He's done all of that now. And as we saw in the final scene of Season 2, he wants a new life, a fresh start. And he thinks it's the best idea ever to go and work for Victoria Newman. As the creator of the show confirmed, Huey is going to enjoy his new life, until it all comes flying apart. But that's the question, isn't it? How will it fly in his face? Will he be used by Newman? Will something else come into play? Or someone come into play? That's a set of questions that we are chomping at the bit to find out. Number 7. The Seven. Let's be honest here, most of the Seven suck. Think about what we learned in just the first few episodes about them. The Deep was a horrible person, Translucent was a pervert, A-Train was an unrepentant junkie, Homelander was psycho, and Queen Maeve was unfeeling. By the end of Season 2, the Seven got more and more fractured. And their true colors continued to rise as things got worse for them. Homelander almost killed Starlight multiple times, but was stopped by Maeve and by luck. The Deep was kicked out of the Seven, and A-Train soon followed, with each trying desperately to get back in. Black Noir was put into a coma by Maeve. And of course, Starlight was a double agent trying to bring Vought down. Homelander was forced to let Starlight and Maeve live after they helped kill Stormfront. And as the teaser for Season 3 showed, he's on the knife's edge between playing his part and going full psycho, as we all know he can do. So how will the Seven be broken down further in Season 3? And how will one new hero come into play? Number 6. Soldier Boy. A new hero that is coming into play in Season 3 is Soldier Boy, who was the first official superhero that Vought ever made. He's a ripoff of Captain America, if you can't tell. And he was the predecessor to Homelander in terms of his visual presence to America and its interests. A cool thing is that he'll be played by Jensen Ackles of Supernatural fame. And he's very familiar with showrunner Eric Kripke. Eric Kripke describes the character as the very first superhero. He'll bring so much humor, pathos, and danger to the role. Ironically though, Ackles admitted he wasn't the studio's first consideration for the role, despite the showrunner's endorsement. This was something that the studio, that Sony, was talking to some much bigger names than me and wanted to bring in for season 3. Ackles said on the latest episode of Michael Rosenbaum's Inside of You podcast. So, showrunner Eric Kripke was like, look, I know you can do this, but we're going to have to convince the powers. And clearly they did. And so it'll be important how this bigoted hero factors into fixing the Seven, Vought, and beyond. Number 5. The Butcher's new mission. For the first 2 seasons of the show, Billy Butcher had one goal: kill Homelander because of what he did to his wife. Even when his wife was found, the mission didn't truly change. But at the end of season 2, with his wife truly dead and her son now in protective custody, as well as Homelander feeling the loss of a loved one, Butcher has gotten his justice. Or at least as much as he can get. By the end of the season, he walked off and went, who knows where. The boys are done. For now. But you can bet he'll be back. But how? What will his new mission be? What will draw him out of retirement? We'll find out soon enough. Number 4. Insanity anew. Let's be even more honest here. The Boys has gotten a lot of people watching it because it's one of the few superhero series to embrace the darker elements of what the genre can be. Kripke and the crew continually turn up the dial even when they break it, and season 3 will be no different. Aside from one event we'll detail later, the team is promising the biggest action scenes yet, more gratuitousness than before, and, well, it being more of the Boys than ever before. It's impossible to guess what they'll do because we honestly have no idea. Number 3. Frenchie and the female. Another divergence from the comics is that of Frenchie and the female. In the comics, they were just friends, but in season 2, they are blossoming into a much bigger relationship, including Frenchie learning how to talk with Kimiko via her unique sign language. Now that they're free from their fugitive status, they can finally try and just live life and enjoy each other's company. Or at least that's what fans want, but rarely does the Boys allow status quo things to last. Such as with Number 2. Starlight. Starlight has been the hero that you honestly rooted for in regards to the Supes. She was a pure heart, a pure spirit, and the moment she entered the Seven, she just got dumped on from all sides. Even after she met Huey and started helping him, things didn't get better for a while. However, now that Vought was exposed, Stormfront was stopped, and Maeve is on her side, Starlight likely now feels she can truly try and be a hero again. But again, the Boys doesn't let sleeping dogs lie. And we know that some ghosts from her past are coming into play for season 3. And by ghosts, we mean a superhero ex-boyfriend. Yep, this will be interesting. Number 1. Herogasm. We almost don't want to talk about this, but we are. Delicately. When Garth Ennis made The Boys, he wasn't afraid to go deep, dark, and twisted. And that culminated in many ways with his Herogasm issue. That is, well, it's a lot. And in season 3, we're going to get the live-action version of that infamous tale. So what is Herogasm? Well, it's probably best you just look it out and see what it depicts in the comics, because we'd rather not go any deeper than we have to here. We will say, though, that the showrunner has admitted that this is one of the craziest things they've ever done for the show. And that's saying something. So, what do you think? What do you think of this look at The Boys Season 3 and all the plot lines, character arrivals, and more that we now know we can expect? Do you think that this might just be the most insane season of The Boys yet? What do you think will happen by season's end? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.